Hi guys. Today I'm going to talk about the Torbay half marathon, which I ran on Sunday, the Sunday just gone. It was my first half marathon as an event. I've done a couple before as a distance. One last April, I think, like over a year ago, and the other one a couple of months ago. So I entered this one in May, and I was just feeling really optimistic at the time, and thought, hey, it'll be really fun to do a half marathon. It's not quite the commitment of an actual marathon, but it seems a little bit more than a commitment of a 10k, which I've done before as an event. So I chose the Torbay half marathon because it is flat-ish. Not really. I mean, it's got a couple of hills in it, which feel a lot bigger when you're running it than I think they probably actually are. But it's flattish. It's all road. It's along the edge of Torbay from Paynton to Torquay. It's 2 laps of that. And they close the road so you can, run in the road. There's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of people, but it doesn't really feel super crowded because you're just running in the road. So I chose that. And signed up in May. Then didn't really think about it so much because I've been doing so many other things, like running, like cycling and swimming as well. And then it sort of struck me about a month ago that I only had 4 weeks to train for a half marathon. Not that I hadn't been running, I've been running loads, but not really that kind of distance. Anyway, but I did feel pretty prepared by the time I got there. So we arrived in not very, maybe 8:30 in the morning, and we were due to set off at 9 o'clock. But we had been sent our numbers and did all that kind of registration stuff beforehand. And it was really, really lovely to be at the beginning of a race, because obviously I haven't been in a crowd for a really long time, and it was just sort of strange but lovely at the same time to be stood amongst all those other people who were, there for this kind of common goal of running a half marathon. So it was really exciting, and there was loads of music, and it was just really pumped up, and the bay was super calm and just so beautiful. And there were these huge cruise ships anchored off Torbay all the time because it's really sheltered. So there's these massive cruise ships. And then this completely flat, calm water, and then hundreds of runners whoa, come on. So, yeah, it was a good start. I deliberately took the first few kilometres really slowly, kind of as a warm-up. But I was really conscious of the fact that I would be tempted, you kind of get caught up in the flow of people. And I didn't want to just start running at 5k pace, because that, was kind of the get up and go attitude. So to make it up to the distance, the organisers had put in an initial loop sort of around the green in Paynton. And that was really nice. It was kind of a warm-up loop kind of thing before you set off on the actual road that goes slightly around the houses to Torquay. And there's also a 10k going on, which was one lap of this loop from Paynton to Torquay and back. And then the half marathon was 2 loops of that. And that was really nice because in my head I thought that the turning point in Torquay would be kind of 5 kilometres. So by the time I got there, and I was feeling really good, and I looked at my watch and it said it was, I think, 7 maybe, almost 8. So I felt even better after that. But also I don't know this area. I don't live particularly far away. But I have never really spent any time in Paynton or Torquay. So it was a completely new route to me. I didn't know what to expect at all, except I knew that, there would be the bay on one side and suburbia on the other. And that was really nice because I kind of think all the routes I do at the moment, near where I live and the places that I know and go to a lot, it's not even my brain, it's my body knows exactly where I am on that route, and makes me feel accordingly. And I feel running a route that I don't know I normally feel better, like psychologically better, because, it could end quite soon, or it might be really easy, or, I'm quite an optimistic runner, I think. So I like running in places that I don't know. It makes it feel a lot easier and a hell of a lot faster. By the time I got to the 10k turning point, which was back at the start again, and there were tons of supporters across the whole route, but like there were loads at the start/finish. So by the time I got there, I was still feeling pretty good, like noticeably tired, but I didn't really feel like I'd run a 10k. So, ran around the green and then back off towards Torquay. And there are 2 hills on this route, which I don't think are actually particularly big, but obviously when you're running a half marathon, even like the slightest incline feels really hard. So by the time I turned around to, go on to Torquay the second time, I was well aware of these 2 hills, and it was a real kind of like, okay, like a bit of a slog up them. But again, like the supporters were so amazing that like you can't really feel bad, because everyone's like, whoa, come on, you're doing so well, and you're so grateful for that you're like, oh yay, thanks. So really it uplifts you. It never fails to amaze me how important marshals are, and just people like leaning out their windows cheering you on at 10 a.m. on a Sunday morning in their dressing gowns. Like, what absolute heroes. So got back to Torquay, and then there's only about, 4 kilometres left to go, I guess. And that was good, felt nice. It was nice to be on this kind of home stretch. But then, 2 hills back to go, 2 hills to go, did those. And then I kind of got to 1.5 kilometres before the end. And because I don't really know the area, and I'd only obviously run this bit once before, I kind of like found myself speeding up, because I knew that the finish was almost there, and I had that bit of energy that I could just eke out to the finish. But then I turn a corner and realise, oh, I'm not where I thought I was at all, and have ages to go. So I'd have to slow down again. So I was speeding up, slowing down, speeding up, slowing down. And I finally turned the corner and saw kind of like the seafront in front of me. And then there's like a sign that says 400 meters. And like, I love doing a sprint finish for like not just races, but which I've only done a couple of, but like anything, like even if I'm doing, 5k or like just an average evening run, even if I'm doing zone 2 heart rate training, I will still kind of like go for the sprint finish, because they're really fun. And I don't know, it really makes me feel like I've made the most of a run if I can absolutely, nail that sprint. But I'm not very, I've never measured them before. So I was sort of like, well, I can't sprint from 400 metres, that seems excessive. Maybe 300? So I got to about 300 metres and just absolutely legged it. And luckily the finish line is really wide, because, some races have like funnel finish lines, which are a nightmare, because you have to, if there are people around you, you have to slow down and kind of like, merge in turn. But this one was really wide, and it was chip timing, so you could just absolutely smash it across, which was great. And it's one of those times when you have to disconnect your brain from your legs, otherwise you'll start thinking about how your legs are moving so fast and how is that even possible, and oh god, now I've forgotten how to run and I'm going to trip over my own legs. So I managed not to do that, which is good, because I did the Devon Grit gravel sportive a couple of weeks before and fell over in front of everybody while going absolutely nowhere. So I didn't fall over this time. Got across the line, and then like immediately behind the line are these kind of like army cadets handing out medals, which is great and wonderful. But they're like literally right there. And because I was going so fast, I had to kind of like jolt myself to a stop to not, bump into one or miss the medal. And you can't run a half marathon and not get your medal, can you? And then there's a water station, and then immediately behind that is the beach, which is amazing, because I literally walked off the finish line, got a glass of water, stepped down onto the beach, got straight into the sea. And I cannot think of a better way to end a race than taking a dip in the sea. So it was great. Like, the whole thing was brilliantly organised. Amazing marshals, amazing supporters. Everything was really finely tuned as well. There were tons of portaloos. There were public toilets, which were 30p, but took contactless payment, which I've never come across before. I mean, public toilets taking contactless payment. I have come across contactless payment, obviously. So normal people wouldn't get excited about that, but I think that's pretty swish. You know, no one wants to be digging around in their pocket for a 20p that they literally never have. So the whole thing was brilliant. I would absolutely recommend doing the Torbay half marathon. It was so much fun. There's a 10k too, so that was really good. And the whole event was just brilliant. It was lovely to be back out in sort of, you know, a crowd with camaraderie and stuff. I'd definitely do it again. I'll definitely do a half marathon again. I think choosing a place that I don't know very well is probably the best way to do it, and to like make the most of, you know, the entry fee and stuff, to actually make it somewhere that you can go and a new place to explore. Yeah, it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So that is my race report for the Torbay Half Marathon 2021, and it actually is 2021, not like delayed. So yeah, go sign up for it next year. It's going to be in June or July or something beginning with J. Anyway, thanks for watching. Bye.